Welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man who sells out faster than a Todd McFarlane Kickstarter, Bill!
Hi, everyone. That's right. I sell out so fast and hard, it's not funny.
Give me that money. Give me that money.
Money.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Todd McFarlane and his crowdfunding shenanigans a little later. I ignored it mostly, but then I saw something tonight that I was like, well, let me look into this. And then I was like, well, there's a whole story here, so we're going to talk about it.
Oh, perfect.
I
know nothing about it, as always.
Good. We'll explore it together.
Be surprised. Very nice.
Top story of the week. CinemaCon happened, and we learned a lot. We learned a lot about the movies that we're going to see over the next couple of years. So I had to Google what this was, because I just kept seeing announcements from Disney and Paramount, and I was like, what is happening? Why are we getting all this information? So apparently there is this thing called the National Association of Theater Owners, NATO, which I feel like that's taken.
Yeah,
they went with that acronym. Okay,
it's like
whatever.
How WWF had to change to WWE.
Oh my God,
should fix this.
I wonder if they'll ever go back, because it's like Vince just didn't want to pay. But I think at this point,
I was never confused in the first place. I really wasn't.
Well, no, nobody was.
Okay.
The worst part was they had to go back and blur out all the old footage. So if you bought DVDs of past events, it just had big, and like all the turnbuckles had WWF on them, so they were just, and the ref's pocket had, like, it was disgusting. It was so terrible. So thankfully they don't have to do that anymore. But
that's good.
All right, so CinemaCon, apparently it happens every year. I don't
Bimon Sci-Fi Con. For me, as a convention I'm going to a toy show tomorrow. It's like there's a convention every day, for crying out loud. Yes.
Is there going to be a Dan there? Are you going to see a Dan?
No, this is the one I went to, and all the kids got all the free stuff last year. So
cool.
We're already back on a 1-year cycle at this point.
Try to get some people that want to run ads on the show. Be like, hey, you have a great product here. You can reach a much wider audience if you only advertise on the #1 action figure podcast, weekly podcast. Asterisk. I do wonder, like, how you rank us in terms of, like, what are the other action figure podcasts? There's Adventures in Collecting.
There are, but they're not as frequent as us. So
they do,
and they do a lot of interviews.
They do mostly most of their shows are now interviews, but then they've started doing these smaller episodes. Like they did one after WrestleMania talking about the different outfits and like which ones would make the best figures.
Okay.
So they post content.
Good.
But yeah, they're definitely not a weekly show like we are. I feel like we're the only weekly action figure. I mean, there's the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, and they do it weekly, but that's specifically wrestling figures.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, we're number one. Number one in the demo.
There we go.
We are the
I'll
demo.
Take that.
We're the demo. Yeah.
Until someone else tells us otherwise.
And even that.
We're it.
What are you basing that
listening.
on? Nobody knows how
Your
many
opinion?
listens.
Forget that.
Nobody knows how many downloads these shows are getting. It's not like YouTube where it puts the number there.
We're big in Prussia.
I kind of wish it would. I'd like to know. Yeah, we're real big. We're real big in some other countries.
Prussia doesn't exist anymore.
They're just, I think the other countries, they're just downloading all the shows and then using our audio to feed into AI.
True. Yeah.
Someday they'll be able to replicate us.
I'm like part of some audio call center.
Yes.
It's like every
100%.
single word.
100% that is happening.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, this week I sent you. I'm working on a theme song for the show using AI.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because there's this website where you can put in as little or as much information as you want, and it'll make a theme song, or it'll make music. You can choose the genre, and I just feel bad for musicians. Like every day, there's a new group of people to feel bad for. Like most recently, it was artists. Now we're into the musical. Like,
who's next?
The fact that this can be done with such little effort. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry if you dedicated your life to one specific thing, but you wasted your time.
It just really, it startles me so much, because you ever remember that Black Mirror episode where the animation becomes like the president or the... Remember that episode?
With the pig?
Not the pig. No, not that one.
No.
Goodness. No, there's one where...
Goodness.
There's one where there's like this emoji character.
Oh, yes.
Becomes the leader. And it's like,
yeah.
My God, we're so close.
I mean, I think, it already happened. Like, you could say that that it was a real human, but like essentially, it happened already.
It already happened.
So, what was
back to CinemaCon?
CinemaCon.
5 minutes ago, CinemaCon happened.
Enjoy movies while they are still made by people with people, because eventually, not too long from now, they will all be AI. So, yeah, Disney had a ton of things to talk about. I don't even care. What's going on? You hear that? What is that?
Is it my loud wife?
Oh, my God.
Is it that?
What is she doing?
I don't know.
It's like in TV shows when you eat at dinner, you make all the clanks with your fork and knife. It makes like, I'm eating.
It's my wife and her loud cups.
Dinner.
Loud cups.
Yeah.
Everything's either a metal straw, or like a metal cup, or a glass cup and a glass straw. There's no paper anywhere. I don't know what's going on.
No plastic
hitting plastic would be the dog barking now.
The dog barking? Oh, it's some good Foley
tonight. This is
a
professional level broadcast.
This is why Emily from Hasbro will not do our show. She just completely just ignored it. Did not even.
Right. She's like, no, I've seen this crap.
She's gonna block us soon. All right, I'm gonna give your dog a second to calm down.
Please do.
He's trying to tell your wife to calm down. Do you have a broom you can just hit the ceiling like when you live in an apartment?
I mean, I want to put this on mute so no one hears me say, "Hey, quiet it down. I'm recording up here."
If you want to take a moment and go figure out what's going on, that's fine. I'll just talk to the crowd myself, and yeah. So, how's everybody doing out there in the TV world? Good? Yeah. Do you have a good week? Yeah. I guess it's only Monday when you're hearing this, so I'm hoping you're having a good Monday. You don't hate Mondays like Garfield. Oh, actually, Garfield is one of the popcorn buckets that we're going to talk about. They're having a baby Garfield, which is actually pretty cute. I mean, I don't know if we ever saw Garfield as a baby in the original cartoon or the comic strip. It's like the baby Yoda-fication, which is appropriate because I'm wearing a baby Yoda shirt tonight. But yeah, the infantilization, is that right? Infantization. There is a real word in there somewhere. But it's like, I think the Muppet Babies were the first to really take an existing character that was presented as an adult and then create like a baby version of it. So, hey, you're back.
I'm back.
What were we talking about? Oh, not
CinemaCon.
CinemaCon. So, obviously there were movies discussed, but it's so funny that popcorn buckets have become such a central part of the conversation around movies now. That I feel like this was the big news coming out of CinemaCon. So we saw popcorn buckets for Baby Garfield. Very cute.
Okay.
Alien, like the Xenomorph's head. And apparently you can put it on your wrist. I don't know what that does. Maybe you can puppeteer it, like the little inner mouth pops out. I'm not really sure.
That Alien Romulus movie that's coming out? Okay.
Yep.
See, I would have preferred an egg at that point. I mean, Xenomorph head, exciting, but missed opportunity with the egg.
Maybe like another
the egg
theater.
Is where it's at.
Because there's multiple theaters. We saw with Ghostbusters, there were 2 traps, and then another theater had other stuff. So there's still potential.
Slimer
bucket,
yes.
Fake Slimer bucket. But the big movie, big popcorn opportunity, Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, they did show some popcorn paraphernalia, and there was a taxi cab with Deadpool riding on top, and there were some cups, and there were some other things to get an idea of what Wolverine's mask is going to look like. But Kevin Feige did promote that there will be a Deadpool popcorn bucket reminiscent of the Dune 2 popcorn bucket. And we all know, the insanity surrounding the Dune 2 popcorn bucket. So they're leaning into it. And
that's good.
I feel like this could go terribly wrong because it's like people are gonna, it's like a challenge. It's like how wrong can you make this? Like they're gonna. I don't know that we've officially seen it because I've seen different people have AI renders of what this could look like. Sure. We don't really know, other than it's supposed to be designed by Deadpool, and that he's trying to one up the Dune 2 popcorn bucket. So what do you think this could look like?
Oh, this could be so many things. Maybe it's just Headpool.
Headpool, sure. Well, we got that.
Disembodied head.
Hasbro made that, right? That electronic one.
So they made that one, but Headpool's an actual character. He's the zombified version of Deadpool from the zombie universe. And
you think they would just have? But that's not. Like,
I know.
It's gotta be disgusting.
You think so?
It's gotta be. It's gotta.
The Dune 2 popcorn bucket was unintentionally disgusting. That's just.
I disagree. They knew what they. No, they knew what they. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They could have done something else. Get out of town.
Couldn't go that far.
Get out of town. No, they knew what they were doing. They were geniuses. Okay. So I'm almost afraid that Deadpool is going to go too far. And that we're gonna have a grimace shake situation on our hands.
Oh, really?
Where people they take it too far. Like I'm saying, challenge accepted. They're gonna try to one up each other. So I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm afraid for what the internet's gonna look like when this popcorn bucket comes out. But that's what Disney wanted, I guess.
It's interesting. It feels like the turnaround for a popcorn bucket is pretty quickly. So if they're announcing, we're gonna do something fun for. But maybe it's just been because they want to do it comparative to the Dune popcorn bucket, which, I mean, it feels like you and I were talking about that popcorn bucket for ages, even before the movie came out.
True.
So they probably had some idea. So they probably had a little bit of working time to figure it out.
It's also possible that this was started unrelated to the Dune 2 popcorn bucket, and then when they saw how well that did, at least in terms of media exposure, they were like, all right, let's do it. Like maybe they were trying to make it a little more sly, but then they're like, nope, all the chains off. Let's do it.
I really want to see someone's house with all the because popcorn buckets, in my opinion, are just the new cookie jars for a lot of people. And it's just like, I want to see the rooms dedicated to popcorn buckets.
I do wonder what that looks like. Because they have a large footprint, some of them.
They do. Disney just did a Jabba the Hutt one. If you saw that, the electronic Jabba the Hutt.
With a Salacious Crumb, did he come with that?
I don't know if he did. I think he was just in picture with it. No,
it was just Jabba.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, what do you do?
I still have the Simba one. I hate it. Baby Simba.
He's holding him up?
Yeah.
Or you hold him up, he's like Baby Simba? I love that one.
It's okay, but at the same time, I think I saw one at the Goodwill at one point, but like they all have that quick release strap, so it's like you could be walking and you just do one more footfall a little too hard and the thing just comes off you.
Oh, so you don't get sucked into machinery like it has to legally.
Yeah, like, legally it has to have a quick break.
I gotcha. That's why if you see someone at a theme park wearing a tie, like a necktie, it's a clip-on. Because they can't wear the full tie, because if they get sucked into machinery, they will perish. So,
right, that makes sense.
Fun fact:
don't wear ties to amusement parks.
We've all seen those Chinese animation videos of people being sucked into the machinery. Lord.
Yes,
those all really happen. Those aren't just like worst case scenario. Those are actual things that happen to people.
Not cautionary tales. Those are actual events.
This is historical document. Yeah, so Deadpool this summer, correct? So we should be seeing.
I think
this final.
It's the only Marvel movie coming out this year, as far as I know.
Did something get pushed back?
I think everything
supposed to be another. Well, everything got pushed back.
I don't believe there was. I mean, I think at one point there was. I think they're starting to show. We're starting to see images from the new Captain America movie. But again, I don't.
Yes,
think that's
we saw
coming out
Harrison
until...
Ford,
Yeah.
and they acknowledged that the actor is different in a sort of fun way because he doesn't have a mustache anymore. The character, because the actor died.
Yes.
Who played him? I can't remember his name. Do you remember?
William Hurt. I think that's
Who
right.
played? What's the character's name? Who played the president in the Marvel?
General
movie?
Ross.
General Ross. He died. Everything's failing tonight.
I think I was right.
What do you think his name?
It's all
was?
the
William
wives'
Hurt?
fault. It's all the
William
wives'
Hurt?
fault. That's what I said.
Okay. Oh, you were right. Good job.
He's dead?
Or he doesn't want to be in Marvel movies anymore. I thought he died.
He did die.
That's why they had to replace him
Yes.
with Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford will never die. We've seen from that plane crash, he survived.
He is airplane crash proof.
Mhm.
He's everything proof. Lightsaber proof. No. He did.
And then Thunderbolts,
The Thunderbolts.
asterisk,
Asterix.
and Kevin Feige's like, I'm not gonna tell you what it means. And we're like,
Oh.
we don't care.
We don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Stop being
Somebody's-
so coy about it.
There are two trains of thought for this. One, that at the end of the movie they decide not to be called Thunderbolts, and they're like the Dark Avengers or something.
Oh.
And the other one is that this is part 1 of 2, so it'll be Thunderbolts part 1.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't count those chickens till they're hatched, like if this movie does so
Right.
poorly. So I don't know, whatever, I don't care. Hey, Fantastic Four. You know what? I don't care about live action Marvel anymore. I care
No.
about animated Marvel,
That's
because
all I'm in for.
X-Men 97, let's just say X-Men 100, because this show is on another level. My God.
It is.
This week's episode 5.
And that's all they can call it. They're like the episode 5.
There's no
Six-half
words.
titles. Episode
no words
5.
to describe what happens in this episode. If you have not
there's
seen it,
not.
please go watch it. But we're going to
Yes.
spoil it.
Watch it
Everybody's
3 times,
dead.
4 like I did.
Everybody's
My
dead.
goodness. My goodness. What?
So the
What a
plot
show.
is probably the best 30 minutes of Marvel anything. Like if you get the best 30 minutes of any other movie or TV show, stack it up against these 30 minutes.
Right.
Hard pressed to find a better 30 minutes. So the mutants, half the team head over to Genosha because they're joining NATO, the
UN.
National Association of Theater Owners,
Oh.
or the UN. That's right.
They're
That was the
joining
difference.
the UN.
During the UN. And they're gonna have Magneto. They're making Magneto king, or he's reluctant king, I
He is-
guess.
Right. He will be the leader of
Mm-hmm.
Genosha.
And he needs a queen, and he's like, Rogue, be my queen. And she's like, okay. It seems
Sure
like
thing.
that she's okay with it. And then the Tri-Face Sentinel shows up and just blows everybody to hell.
Oh my. Cable shows up first.
Oh, right. So Cable runs in,
Yep.
and he's like, turn off the music. And we're
Yeah,
like,
just
this
shut the
guy.
music down,
Shut the
everybody.
music. I
Somebody
hate
just
your
turn it off.
You damn kids and your damn old people and your rock
Yeah,
and roll.
turn it off. That's going to stop it.
And
You can
then,
hear the music. Turn it off.
thankfully, we had the earlier line from Cyclops about the baby's brown eyes, and they did a close-up
Yes.
of Cable's brown eyes, and we're like, hey,
Oh.
look at that. And then he's like, Mom, no. So she knows.
Right.
And he gets sucked back in the future, and he warned nobody. Nobody was prepared. But
Nobody.
if the music had been turned off, everyone would have been saved.
I was very excited though because, and I didn't watch a lot of like action figure stuff, but I got the Jean Grey figure, and the Cyclops figure when they popped back up on Amazon last week, and the Jean Grey comes with 2 head sculpts, and one of them is the Madeline Pryor head sculpt with the hair down. And I was like, oh,
Yes, very smart.
That's-
Very
that's
good on
very
their
smart.
part.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, this
So
line
I'm-
is great.
I'm like casually buying them. I'm like picking them as I think they'll get like more expensive, or like right before they get more expensive. So like at this point, like Executioner's kind of been hanging around a lot, so I'm expecting him to go to clearance.
Sure.
I haven't picked up Nightcrawler, and I haven't picked up Magneto. I think those three.
The new Magneto.
Sexy Magneto.
Sexy Magneto.
But I feel like, I mean, I wanted to see what the prices for Gambit went for after this episode, and I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm wondering, it's like I should have gotten that Deadpool set with the monkey, the white suit Deadpool. So I could put Gambit in there with that white suit.
That would have been nice. Yeah.
Such a fantastic episode. I don't know.
Somebody did a nice custom of Gambit in his basketball outfit with the half shirt, the cutoff shirt. That was very nice. It's like almost they made it too detailed though with the paint. So I was like, this doesn't look like a Hasbro product, but I appreciate
it.
It's
like a model.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I understand you're an artist, but like, come on. So, yeah, so at the end of the episode, we have Gambit and Magneto presumed dead.
Right. Well, everybody at that point, I feel like, except Rogue.
Rogue is okay.
I mean, there's
Why do we know that Rogue was okay?
Man, because she's cradling Gambit in a crater.
Oh, I can't feel
in like this the Death of Superman pose.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
And then, so the other half of the team stayed in New York to be interviewed by that very nosy news reporter. Where's your son? Where's your missing son? I don't see him anywhere.
She's getting all
he's in the future.
She's getting all the casual like film. It's just like outside the window. Scott Summers drinking a coffee. It's like, what's the cameraman doing out there? It's not like
going on.
It's not just like a talking head moment. It's all just like
little
in their element. Yeah, like crying.
Bizarre. What's interesting? Oh, and then Jean kisses Wolverine, and he's like, "You made a mistake, bub. That never happened."
Right.
It's funny how Wolverine is really taken aback.
Jean Grey and Cyclops. It's not Cyclops and Wolverine. That's
right. They've pushed Wolverine to the background a little bit. Which I feel like
it's fine. We've had Wolverine in the last 20 years. 20 years.
Well, that's the thing.
Wolverine.
We got to start building up some new stars. This is like in wrestling. You got to build up the next generation of stars.
Right.
Can't keep having Hulk Hogan come out.
Tell another story.
There's another story. Yeah, that's a story for another day. So we leave. Everybody's in shambles. So what's the story behind the three-headed Sentinel? So the Master Mold.
I think there's several. They're like, I think they're called Wild Sentinels.
Wild with a Y.
Wild Sentinels. There's this one.
Godzilla.
This one kind of looks like this Kaiju Sentinel was created. At least the appearance of this one was similar to the one that Cassandra Nova created, and she's the twin of Professor X and a villain who also attacks Genosha. But I feel like we're not getting that story. We just kind of got the elements of the Sentinel. I think
because apparently that story is being reserved for another media. So.
Right. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I think at the beginning of the season, what's his name? The guy that was creating Master Mold was like, do you really think this was the only Master Mold? So I think that there's always been like a B, and C plan for these Sentinels. And someone's making them. The thing was like a Sentinel factory. It was just popping up regular Sentinels here and there.
Yeah.
Not that it had to. Didn't the HasLab Sentinel have like a tri-face as well?
I do think so. Yeah, I think there was something there. They knew. They knew
something.
Oh. I saw this week that they made a retro commercial for the 97 figures, and they used that mass market Sentinel. The soap bottle. Shampoo bottle.
Yeah, I got one right over here. It's great.
Yeah.
I never saw that in the stores, I don't think. I don't think I ever saw that in the stores.
I don't think I ever saw it in the stores either. I got mine on Amazon right when they went up.
Oh, and all the 97 X-Men stuff's all going to clearance now. Even the basic line, all on clearance at Target. It's all like $5 and under. The Blackbird Jet, clearanced, gone.
Because even kids don't want that crap. The kids are just going to buy the Marvel Legends. Like, come on. Like, stop what you're doing. Nobody wants the shitty toys when there are good toys. Kids aren't going to... I know, some little kids that don't know better. But those kids are probably buying Bluey or something. They're not buying X-Men.
Hey, don't knock Bluey.
Or they're buying
Talk about
Transformers.
Bluey later. Talk about Bluey later.
Gujitsu, like stuff that
Gujitsu.
is for kids. Stop
Yes.
trying to dumb down your, like, not adult, but like, stop trying to dumb down product for kids. Kids don't want dumbed down product. They want the good stuff.
Not for this show. I mean, who's showing their kid this at this point? I mean, I think it's clearly established itself that this is an adult cartoon. Has no business being shown to like a 4 and 5-year-old.
It was giving me Aeon Flux vibes. Do you remember?
Was it?
Aeon,
I do remember.
From MTV days? Like, even the
Yes.
like Magneto's face when they had the close-ups of him, it just like,
Right.
it's creeping me out. But I'm very excited to see where this episode go. And you were saying that the guy that got fired, the showrunner, was like, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you thought that one was hard, wait till you see the end of this season.
8 through 10. Yeah, so next week we're going back to the Storm story, I believe, with Forge. So they're gonna they teased us with this, and then we're going back.
Yeah. I heard
tamer territory, as it is.
I heard a rumor that Storm will appear in a What If episode.
Oh. The Watcher appeared in this episode.
Yes. Okay, I was going to ask if you saw they had an establishing shot and you could see his head in the sky
looking over. This
and
event.
that Watcher, it's the same Watcher from What If, and apparently that actor will appear in the live action somewhere. So
yeah.
Do you like the idea that this is one contained universe and that it's all connected, or do you feel like that's limiting?
How so?
Because there will be contradictions.
To what?
So it's like saying that this animated universe
right
has the same Watcher character. Like the same Watcher is watching this as is watching the what if as is watching.
Yeah, but didn't
they
establish that's how this just is? Like this is its own separate thread of the multiverse.
I know, but you like that all the characters could like come and go if they wanted to.
That so much doesn't bother me, but it doesn't like the stakes aren't raised at that point for anything. Like I don't take any of it at all seriously. Like everything there's no like this whole destruction. Like is there going to be fallout from it? Sure, that'd be great, but again, they're going to bring time travel back.
Of course. Well, that's the thing. Once you introduce time travel, nobody's dead forever. Yeah.
Well, so I was thinking about it too, and that really kind of irked me because obviously MCU time travel is a different like thing with like branch timelines. But if you go back to the Days of the Future Past episode from the original X-Men cartoon run, you've got Bishop going back in time saying if you change the future, if you change the past, it's going to affect the future. Yeah. And it's like the Back to the Future time frame. Time travel rules, in my opinion. Right. Like it's a kid's version of like explaining time travel. But at that point, I was like, oh, that makes sense to me, and that's cool. Not this. Yeah. It's going to create a branch, and then I don't like all that complicated branch stuff. I guess.
Last night we watched Everything All at Once, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Finally, and it's that's what it is. It's like this decision is made, but then it creates a branch because if the decision was made the other way. It creates, that whole world plays out, and they're all happening simultaneously. It's it's just a storytelling technique.
Some pretty heady stuff lately. You're just like
what else did I watch?
Three body problem.
Yeah,
everything everywhere all at once. You're just like yes, brain stimulation overload. I gotta think nonstop. Here I am just wrestling with Bluey selling their house, and I'm just like, what are the ramifications?
Big news in the Bluey-verse. It looks like our favorite family from Down Under might be moving on. What's going on?
So I'm going to tell you right now, Bluey as you know it is coming to an end.
No. No.
So not only are they selling they had a real interesting episode in Ghost Basket this previous week with the for sale sign of their house.
Yeah.
And they're coming up this Sunday. By the time this airs, Sunday will have come and gone, but we're going to have the longest episode of Bluey ever. 21 minutes long.
What?
3 times
long
the
are
Bluey. They're usually 7 to 8
short?
minutes. They're usually very short.
Are they ever going to do a Bluey movie? Like, how could they fill so much time?
So here's the thing. After this episode, the studio is going on hiatus.
What does that mean?
With no return date.
What?
But they are promising to return. They're taking a break from Bluey.
Is it like New Australian New Year over there? Like Chinese New Year, they shut everything down?
Right.
What's going on?
So
What's the story?
I have a theory. I don't know.
Oh.
So I'm just a Bluey fan. I'm just a Bluey adult.
No
I don't
inside information.
I don't subscribe to any of the fan channels or any of the groups or anything like that. I'm an isolated Bluey fan, just like I'm an isolated toy fan. All this behind me, I only talk about this with you. So Bluey's the same way. But my theory is that we're going to see a time jump with Bluey.
Oh my God! Bluey time jump?
Not a huge one, but enough
actual
to
grannies?
still. So the kids, the actors who do the voiceovers for the kids have never been credited, just for their own personal protection. However, kids get older.
It's been
Their
the same
voices
kids the
change.
whole time.
It's been the same kids for the first 3 seasons. My
'Cause we're on,
theory
our
is they're going to
12th Daniel
recast them.
Tiger. Damn.
Right, and you notice that too, right?
Oh, of
you
course,
have,
it's horrible. It's horrible.
And you notice the Paw Patrol, Ryder, all that stuff, the voices change.
Yeah.
The kids get older. So I'm thinking that we're going to get like a 3 to 4 year time jump. And at that point, we still get to capitalize on those kids that grew up when Bluey was pertinent to them at the 4 and 6 year old age range.
Damn.
That's my theory. It works for toys too, because then you can bump up the toys, make different Bluey, different Bingo. The parents stay the same.
How old will they be? Will they be teens?
No, I don't think. Well, if I'm saying it, if it's only like maybe 4 years.
Well, how old are they in the show?
I believe Bluey is 6 and Bingo is 4.
So like 10 and
10 and
10
8.
and 6, 10 and 8.
And we've seen time jumps before because Socks, their youngest cousin, was a puppy when it first aired, and you could tell she was a puppy because she just walked on four legs.
Right.
You fast forward to the Facey Time episode, and even episodes in that, and she's on 2 legs and can talk. So there are time jumps within the show that we're subtly noticing.
Well, I'm just trying to take that all in, try to understand that.
Telling you.
Wow. Okay.
That's a working thought. I really feel like that's
a
what's
risk,
going to happen.
But it's a risk, but I understand why they would want to do that. That's interesting that they've never credited the children. I hope they still get paid or something.
I'm sure they do. The voice actors for the parents, they're like on tour doing like conventions and stuff like that. It's kind of wholesome. They do like little TikToks where they go talk to like regular kids as their character's voice. But it's just like it's just their voice anyway. It's not any bit different. They're just like not so much phoning it in, but they just sound the same.
Right, sure.
But that's just my thought, because we do work on a delay with Bluey in the U.S., so a lot of the stuff is already aired in Australia and in the UK and everywhere else around the world, and we get it kind of last as it's distributed to Disney.
Well, now I want to know. I need to find the.
We need hard evidence.
We need the biggest Bluey expert on the internet to come on the show and break this down, because that would blow my mind.
That's just I'm just putting it on the record. That's all.
I wonder if Moose has any inside info. Like they got to start making some new molds of these characters. They're going to look a little different.
Maybe. I mean, we've seen.
What if they move to the U.S.? What if they move to the U.S.
and they have new characters and everything else? I mean, it makes sense from a toy perspective to a media perspective. You know, you have a line where you've kind of gone through every single character. We've seen every single Bluey. I have more Bluey figures than I have any other character. Then I have like Luke Skywalker figures at this point. I've got more Blueys.
Wow.
Like I got a bag of Blueys.
What if they get new neighbors, or they move to a new town and they move next to the conservative version of Bluey that they tried to make?
Yes. Yes.
They're like, and they have to learn to get along despite their political differences.
Right.
That would be something. Wow.
It would be something.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see where Blue. The kid. So the kid has finally he was only watching Daniel Tiger, but now we got him I got him watching Muppet Babies, like the
exciting.
CGI version. He's way into that. So I feel like Bluey's right there. We can
so close.
easily slide
So
into
close.
Bluey. So close, yeah. All right, well, that's very exciting. Another thing that I'm very excited about is that Brian from Super 7, who still works there, apparently, did not comment on our story from last week. He confirmed, and this is the first time I've heard it confirmed, that Super 7 is doing action figures based on the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that was on Fox. He confirmed it. So much so that the next pre-order is going to be that set.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to get to see what these toys look like. And I hope they're good, because honestly, this is a dream line for me. I remember back in the day, I was so mad that the Playmates figures did not look like the show. They looked like the canceled, not prototype, like there was like they were gonna do a show that was much closer in design to the Mirage comic, and then for whatever reason that didn't happen, and they went with those designs. So the toys that Playmates put out look like those canceled designs,
right? And we didn't get anything like Flash Forward, right? Kind of realigned them at that point. They were just kind of goofy. Nobody really wanted Flash Forward.
It wasn't. Well, yeah, it wasn't until Flash Forward that we got like on model characters. The only one we really got was when Michelangelo adopted his superhero persona, the Turtle Titan. They redid that figure from the ground up, and it looked, I mean, you put that next to one of the other figures, you could see how different they look. So yeah, but we never really got good on model characters. And I was always like, it's so exciting. Back in the day, I was trying to make customs of them, and I got those Toy Biz. I think it was Toy Biz at that point. The Daredevil body, and it had like the big ball joints, but it had good articulation. But I was like, how do I make the shell? Because then do you lose all of like the ab crunch? So I will be very interested to see what these look like. But somebody was saying that they should have double jointed elbows, because that was one of the things that Brian would always fight against. But now somebody's pushing him to do more modern, more modern articulation.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
would you take for that? Would you collect those?
I would.
You like
what?
that set
probably
series?
I did like that series quite a bit. That was the first Turtle series that I didn't open, so I still have my sets still unopened.
A whole thing?
Most of it. I dropped off like most Turtle stuff. I had Burnout, where it was just like some of those harder to find figures. But yeah, I have most of them still.
You never opened a single one?
Nope.
Oh. They also re-released those recently, but I never saw them.
I've seen them.
I never saw
Walmart.
them anywhere.
They're at Walmart.
I don't check Walmart. No, I did check Walmart. Mine
you
didn't
have to check Walmart. Walmart's been hitting it all week.
Well, they've got some. They're fine. I don't know. It's like season. It's clearance season, I guess.
I love clearance season. Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
I love clearance season.
I missed the old clearance season when Target would move everything to the other aisle.
Yeah, now it's
you could just walk down it, being like, "Just give it up, give me all of it, all of it."
I kind of just like being surprised at this point, because it's like you have to find it, and then like on some cases, because they're all in aisle still, and they all have a shelf tag. And sometimes someone moves something and you find it in the aisle, or like they run a clearance in store, but they also run it online. Mm-hmm. And you get you get to check like two different things. So I've had a great week.
What did you find?
I mean, I have a whole box of goodies here. Just look at this box of goodies.
This is stuff you ordered online?
This is stuff I ordered online. They had the oversized turtle.
Oh, how much were those?
$11.
That's good. That's worth it.
Can't beat that. What else did they have?
You could still have your originals like I do behind me.
That's true. I only have one. This Boba Fett's $5. I just got one. I already have
Nobody
like
wanted
two.
that figure.
I already have two, but for $5, I'm like, I could just keep giving it to my son and be like, "You can keep losing the gun, kid. Here it is."
Somebody has a photo from a store that's like the only toy they have, and they have so many of them.
The Christmas droid that I was unwilling to pay $27 for was down to 11.
Playing a long game. That's so funny that one didn't perform well, but usually those sell out so quick.
No. The Cassian Boring Andor figure for $6.
So boring.
So boring. What else? I got in store. I told my daughter that I would definitely show these off because Lego's big in my house. You go down the Lego aisle. She loves these Lego Friends sets. This was an $80 set.
Yikes.
$30.
Oh, there it is.
$30.
You don't usually see Lego on clearance.
No, usually you don't. And when you do, it's already gone.
Right.
What else did I find in store? Sexy Chewbacca. $9.
Oh, okay. Well, $9. I would argue that Sexy Chewbacca is Return of the Jedi Chewbacca. That's
okay.
That's
yeah.
Chewbacca's.
That's true. He's all glammed up. You're right.
That's the other. That's not. I think that Chewbacca should be reserved for Chewbacca. That's
fair enough.
What's his name? Kershak?
Black Chrysanthemum. Another Friends set from Lego. $60 originally. $24.
Thank you for being my friends.
What else did we get?
My clearance friends.
Like I said, I went nuts. The Ecto 1 from that re-release line is only $20. I picked up another Ecto 1.
How much is it normally?
I think it was $40.
No.
Maybe it was $35. I don't know.
I was gonna.
The Mega Mutant was $11.
There it is. That's a fun
figure. I gave one to my kid, but now I've got one to keep in package forever.
That's nice. Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on. Who else we got? Scrap Iron, $17.
Okay. I wanted to talk about this. So I found Scrap Iron, like a whole pallet of him. Like where he's on the shelf. Nobody bought any of them.
Okay.
And I found him on Amazon for $25 because how much did he run originally? 40 something?
$35 to $40. Yeah.
So when I saw him so cheap on Amazon, I was like, score.
Sure.
But the fact that he was 17, I was like, I'm mad. I paid 25. I started a refund. I'm like, I'm sending it back. I don't want to have it. I thought it was such a good deal.
I went back specifically to get the one I left behind last night, and someone purchased it. But
what do you do with that figure?
I found those Legos. What do you mean?
Like, what does he come with?
He comes with a drone. He's got a anti-tank
What is it?
drone.
It's supposed to like go in the. Is it just?
You can probably
fly. Like, what does he do with it?
It doesn't fly. It's just artillery.
It's a drone that doesn't fly.
You can put it in the back of the HISS tank.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. If it connects with the HISS tank.
It can.
Do you have that? Do you have the HISS tank?
I do.
But it's not open.
Not yet. I'm on vacation this week. Just so you're aware.
Always.
Always.
Always on vacation. Jesus
I intend to.
You're gonna open some stuff?
Some things. I'm gonna see Ghostbusters.
You got some space now. You got some space.
Yes, I got some space.
Oh, you're gonna see Ghostbusters? I hope it's still in theaters. I hope it's still there.
I've checked. It is.
You better get your ticket now.
So they don't. They're not like, we can't do that. Several of my family members have already seen it and have said, I liked it, but it was a little confusing. And I was like, did you see the one before it? And they go, no. And I'm like, that's probably why it was confusing.
Like you're like, who are half of these characters?
Right. Yeah.
How did you not see?
Someone in my family was like,
Afterlife.
Someone in my family was like, I liked the second, I liked 2/3 of it. I didn't like the first part of it where the Ghostbusters weren't in it. It was a new group of Ghostbusters, and I was like, you saw Afterlife, right? And it was just like, no, what?
That's one of the movies.
What is
you have to at least be aware. You have to be aware
that it exists. Yes.
That's. It's not like the Godzilla movies where you can go and fresh. Although you were saying that you actually got more out of Godzilla because you had seen the previous Godzilla movies.
It's true, I did.
Or King Kong. Is it a Godzilla movie or is it a King Kong movie?
It's more of a King. It's more of a King Kong movie than it is anything else. I feel like they find that King Kong plays more to the human demo than Godzilla does.
Well, maybe not now after this new Godzilla that did so well.
Oh, I don't know. Well, no, that's the thing. King Kong was the prominent character in this. Godzilla may have spent...
other Godzilla.
What other Godzilla?
-1.
Oh, -1. Yes.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Let's do King Kong -1 and see how well that does.
Oh. I mean, this was great. I don't know if we talked about it last week, but I really enjoyed the Kong X Godzilla New Empire.
That
movie.
scene where they run at the camera in slow motion, is it funny or is it good?
It's so quick. It's so quick, and then there's just the wide shot of the opposing forces going into battle, and then the subterranean society activates a 0G device, and the gravity just gets boosted, so they're all floating. It's just a lot of fun. If you like beasts, if you like all that kaiju nonsense.
Is there a like secret final boss monster that they haven't shown that I think we've seen in toy form now? Like
that one is revealed fairly early. And it's just a imprisoned Titan, as it were. It's not any stronger than say your run of the mill Godzilla. It's just
there's not like a final boss character then.
No, not that I saw.
Not like the Rock shows up.
The Rock's gonna show up.
That would
be
if they put The Rock in King Kong. The Rock has it in his contract that he can't lose a battle, so he would have to win a battle against King Kong or Godzilla. So that's probably what we won't see him. The Rock, he's doing his best to like endear himself to me. I feel like he was personally offended by what we've said about how I don't enjoy him. And last week was WrestleMania.
Yep.
Sunday night. Cody Rhodes finished the story. He beat Roman Reigns. It was probably the best 5 minutes in WrestleMania history, where you had John Cena come out, The Undertaker, and it all ended with Cody Rhodes winning.
Yes.
Who? Seth Rollins? Yeah, who cares?
Yes. I watched an hour and a half of that. I was very surprised with myself.
You're like, why not? Yeah.
Why the heck not? I was like, let's watch.
It was
History
entertaining.
Life. It was
good. It was good. Yeah, if you're going to show wrestling to a non-fan, that's probably the show.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm really engaged in this. I went downstairs and like fell asleep to like a Mankind versus the Undertaker Hell in the Cell match, and I was like,
oh my
watch
god!
This. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Wow. Well, we have to add in some more wrestling talk now.
I got all into wrestling for like 20 minutes and then just like conked out with a headache because I didn't have my CPAP machine. Wasn't hooked up to my device.
You gotta keep that.
Wrestling almost killed me that night.
You need like a mobile version to bring with you.
Yes.
Just have it strapped to at all times.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about wrestling is you can kind of like just watch WrestleMania each year because they catch you up on the stories. So it's like I'll see everybody next year. When the majority of the internet like checks out for like 11 months, and then when it's WrestleMania, it's like, oh, what's going on? Let me check this out again.
Get back in. Gotcha.
So a big thread on this show the last few weeks and months have been these Super 7 Simpsons figures, and like all good things, this too must come to an end.
Yeah, you're finishing the story on these too.
I'm finishing the story. Thank you so much. Even better transition. Truth be told, I only have half of the final wave because the other half sold out and I was not able to get it through Entertainment Earth. And if somebody would like to send those to me,
aren't they available on Big Bad Toy Store at this point?
Sure, but I don't want to spend real money to get them.
Okay.
Maybe someday I will get them. We'll see. I feel like this wave is going to be real hard to find in the future, so maybe I should get it now. But here we go. Figure number 1, Devil Flanders. And I did break him because I tried to take off his coat and his little clasp here snapped. But it's like not broken, and there's like a part underneath it. So I'm not really sure how it was connected, if it was just glued.
Just glue it.
But I think I could fix it. And then I also ripped a seam putting the coat back on, but it's under his armpit. So you actually don't notice it too much.
No, it's like Gambit's plastic coat back in the 90s. You always broke that.
God, that was disgusting. That
thin piece of plastic.
That was the worst design decision. Like, oh my God, it was like a plastic bag.
It was.
Anyway, so, okay. This is a fun figure, but it's like, why did you do the devil version of Ned Flanders when you could have done regular Ned Flanders? I just don't understand it. It's so specific. From one episode, and it was a Halloween episode, so it's not even like it exists in Simpsons canon or anything.
Right.
Like real.
And it's just
so
like
bizarre.
it's so extreme. Like what figures got what characters got figures first versus
it makes no sense. And then the next set was going to be normal Lisa and Marge and groundskeeper Willie. Like, clearly this was the straw that broke the camel's back, and someone was like, stop it. Stop doing like the most bizarre D-level characters and
I'm
normal
gonna tell
people.
you, I feel like we're slowly stumbling onto Super 7's operating system here, where they just have names in a hat, and they go around the office and they're like, let's pick them out, and they pick one name out, and it's like, Devil Flanders, that's who we're making, yay!
I just think they think that these characters are so toyetic, but they don't realize
Florida Stanley.
You have to have, like, if you want to collect the set, you need to have like some basics.
You do.
Like, you can't just have these like cool, interesting looking characters. Like, you need the core family to exist to interact with these cool characters.
Right. I mean, you look at Playmates Star Trek Next Generation line. You had the whole bridge crew, and then you had a Borg, a Klingon, and a Romulan, and I think a Ferengi, and they could just do battle. Star Wars, the same thing. The core characters, and then you had Darth Vader, and you had a Stormtrooper, and then the next wave you had Boba Fett, and at that point your kids could play.
Listen, that's just not how Brian does things. So, 3 in total, 3 heads. Very nice. I mean, this would have been a great, just normal head. He's got the glasses. They actually have a lens in there. It's very well executed.
Just make
I think
kiss.
This is a. You missed it earlier. Who wants to go on a mustache ride? So those are very nice. He doesn't come with a ton of stuff. He's got alternate hands, and he has the pen on fire, and then where Homer assigns away his soul for a donut. So
this is when we started seeing like the accessories start to diminish. You start with that wave 1 where you get the full ass panda, and now you get a pen with a piece of soul paper.
But I will always take. I would trade the panda to keep the alternate heads, because I feel there's one head in every set that makes it worthwhile, and it's this screaming head. But it's like you wouldn't want this as your normal head, but like it's so great. It totally sells the character.
Do you feel like just to interrupt real quick, do you feel like they lost an opportunity to just do like donut head Homer with that?
Right. So what they should have done if they were gonna do like an episode specific character like Devil Flanders, they should have done his opposing Homer. Like that, like make these like companion figures. That makes you could have just done Homer too. Stupid.
It's a head swap though at that point, because it's the donut and then it's Homer, and it's like literally that's how you get your variety. If you're going to be doing these episode specific head portraits and these variations, and the bodies stay the same, just do it that way.
That would have made a lot of sense. But again, this line did not get canceled because of these decisions. It got canceled because Disney has a different concept of how collectibles should be sold. So it didn't matter in the end. But yes, I agree. I think we can all agree that there were better ways to do these characters. While we're comparing series to series 1 had the outer slip box and then that brown shipper box. Mm-hmm. And then series 2 and 3, they lost the brown box. And then by this final series 4, it didn't even have that slip. So it was just the open box. So you could see the figure, which is how it should have been. Right. From the beginning. Like, why would you hide the figure under 2 layers of packaging? Figure.
I need a companion to open it with a set of keys.
But because we got series 2, 3, and 4 within like a little over a month, it's so funny to see how they changed. So the other character I got he's called King Size Homer. Yeah. We know him as Moo Moo Homer. Now, just looking at him on the camera here, he does look funny. I like the face, but the heads are. If you thought maybe you could replace the Deep Space Homer with these heads, nope, they are very fat. Look at that neck.
Oh, wow, look at that neck.
They are very fat. He has some sort of growth. Again, the sculpt is great. The head, if you compare this to the Playmates head, because Playmates did this character too, the sculpt is perfect for the head. There's a he's so angry.
Looks like he would be Baron Harkonnen from Dune. Just like that,
Oh, yes,
that
I can
there,
see that.
That head there.
Yeah.
It's just like...
He's got his cape.
I like that he comes with his cape. I feel...
It's
it
got
wired?
wire in it.
Oh, that's fun.
Like, all of these soft goods have wires. It's amazing. His medal for saving the plant.
Oh,
of course, he has
perfect.
the drinking bird that's articulated.
Oh, damn you.
He has his... What did he call this? His something pole, something stick.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. Did I hit stop? Just dropped it on the screen.
The bird's supposed to do that job. What are you doing?
I know. That's funny. So the mop is sculpted perfectly, and the hand works. He's got little holes. So you can hold it. So that works good. And then, was there something else? Oh, his hat.
Oh, his fat guy hat. Just washing my fat guy hat.
So, I mean, it's a very disturbing figure because
he's large.
He's just too big. It's just
you sent me a picture of your child with him, and I was like,
yes, he's very big.
It's just
he blocks my head.
Yeah, exactly. Forget about the solar eclipse. You get the Homer eclipse.
There it is. Now I know what everybody's thinking. What's underneath the moo-moo? And I this is gonna be a live reaction from Bill.
Oh,
so you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Oh, there it is.
What is it? Is underwear?
This is undies.
Okay.
And you can see some belly too. So it's like they painted it, but there's no way to actually see it. It's like
I feel like he had to buy new underwear to accommodate his girth at this point.
I would hope so.
I feel like they should have really teased us and not put underwear there because I never assumed he was wearing underwear.
Yeah.
Because he falls into that nuclear reactor, and you see his toes. I didn't think he was wearing underwear.
Well,
really playing it safe with that figure. I know.
Yeah, I do. You could paint it yellow if you want.
Paint it.
So
add a little.
This figure is actually very disturbing. Very disturbing to me.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm probably not going to display this one. And it's like, why did they make this version of Homer? It's fine if they wanted to do another Homer. You could do Pin Pal Homer. There's like a million Homers.
Right. There's so many.
You went with Big Fat Homer. Somebody's favorite version of Homer. I don't know.
Sure.
But so I don't have Radioactive Man. Probably the figure I'm least excited about because it's not like Rainier Wolfcastle as Radioactive Man. It's just like the comic character as a figure. So it's weird. I do want Dedrick Tatum. Sounds like Michael Crawford had him because he sounds like he got his arms backwards. That sucks.
Oh.
But I do want that figure eventually, so maybe I should jump on the one on Big Bad Toy Store. But yeah, so
this is it.
It will, this line will go down in toy history as a very unique toy line. And now we move on to Jax, and it'll be. I'm sure I'll get a couple of those at least to compare. Because it's comparison time.
There's an overarching story with every year that we make the show, and this is going to go down right next to the Ghostbusters retro debacle.
True. Yes,
is your interest and love
fair.
for the Super 7 Simpsons line?
It really is the end of a story. It really is. Because it's the end. There's no more unless they get the license back. And even if that happened, it would not be for a long time.
Right.
So it's bittersweet. And bittersweet's in a way. So now those will go in a box. Maybe the aliens will stay out because they're too big. Got to put those behind me somewhere. But
put them with the with the popcorn buckets because they're just that big.
That's true. Yeah. Competing for size. All right. Anything else? What else? There's a ton of stuff. Oh, we got to talk about this. So Super 7, continuing with Super 7, they teased something new for The Office, and it was a picture of a Dundee. Yeah. And I was like, well, we did it again. We called it again. Yep. They're doing their Office Ultimates. But in the photo of the Dundee, I didn't feel like it was detailed enough.
Sure.
That it was for like a 6-inch scale. So I was like, but I'm still going to say we were right. So what it was is another set of reaction figures featuring Prison Mike, which is a figure that you called.
I did.
Dwight as
Basketball Dwight.
Basketball Dwight, which I think I called.
The face shield. Yeah.
Yes, which is exactly how you want your Dwight displayed forever.
Right.
Normal Pam.
With
Dundee. And then Florida Stanley, which... What?
Right.
Why Why won't they do Jim? They did Goldface Jim.
Yeah.
No normal Jim. Can never get a normal
is so
Jim.
Iconic. So iconic.
I hate Goldface Jim. Golden face. So I
feel like it's still coming. I feel like we're on the
ultimates?
Precipice of seeing it. Yes, I think it's going to happen.
We'll see. I'm less convinced now.
You are.
Maybe
Yeah.
they'll just do more reaction figures. I don't know.
I think they're going to test the waters with these sabotage figures.
Yeah.
Go from there. Let's see where the Beastie
fair.
Boys character goes, and then from that point, they'll be like, "Yeah, people want regular." And I mean, that's the thing. I wouldn't mind a couple people in like business suits and ties. I really wouldn't mind that.
I don't know that I love the way that they design the bodies though.
Okay.
Because there's like not enough articulation, or it's like sort of weird the way it's cut in there. It's like a secondary thought. But I would like to see, but they would have to get the faces correct. If they didn't look exactly like the actors, it would be like, there's no point. There's no point to any of this. Do you remember there was another company that did the 3 3/4 office figures, and they had Dwight, Michael, and Pam.
Yeah,
they were Five Below.
They were Five Below. We keep that's like it's like who did those? Fat Mojo. Is that
that's right, because they did DuckTales too. Yes. And now, I mean, those weren't $20 like these reaction figures would be. So it'll be interesting to compare. Because those weren't very good likenesses.
They weren't, no.
But
of course not.
they were essentially what these are. They had the same articulation. They came with accessories.
Right.
So now reactions or Super 7's like, now we want you to pay $20 for these. Like, what? Again, who's buying reaction figures for $20?
Who's doing it?
Like, nobody.
Doing it? No one's buying those Transformer reaction figures that just litter the Target aisles next to the real Transformers.
The G.I. Joe ones, they're just like laid out there.
Those just sit there until they're on the end cap and clearanced.
Right. Oh, speaking of Transformers, that was something else from this CinemaCon thing. Transformers 1. Do you know about this?
That. It's like an origin
What is
story.
this? But it's animated?
Oh, is it? That's sad.
I guess because it's on Cybertron. Well, maybe it's animated, but it's live action, but there won't be any people. I don't know. Okay. I actually don't know. But Chris Hemsworth, is he Optimus?
Is he?
Because he was there. I imagine he would be like the main character, but I don't know. Okay, so we don't know anything about this, but it's a Transformers movie. It's gonna be a theatrical release, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they're doing Transformers and G.I. Joe. They announced that too.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, and the R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes. Okay. We got to talk about that
movie, real quick.
So somebody, I don't know, it was like a year ago, somebody was like, they should do an R-rated Ninja Turtles movie. Right. And we were like, you're insane. They would never. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
But they're going to do it. It's going to happen. They're doing a live action adaptation of The Last Ronin. Mm-hmm. And we'll see if it happens. We'll see if it actually gets made and everything. But they're producing it like it's They're trying to do it.
I feel like
what do you think about that?
Lead to a lot of traumatized children.
I know.
You need they need these movies where the parents have some the uninitiated parents know what they're getting into. Like right below the theater, it says the turtles are going to die in this violently. Don't bring your child.
Yeah. April gets all scarred up. Oh, and people were saying that they should get Judith Hogue back to play April, and I was like, all right, well, that's nice. Okay. I guess so. But I think it would be weird to do a whole Turtles movie where you only see 3/4 of them in flashback. I feel like that the audience would not appreciate that.
No.
So I don't know how you tell that story and make it feel fulfilling.
Tricky.
But they did a comic. People like the comic.
They've done several comics at this point.
Well, then they introduced the new Turtles. And I don't know if people like that. I don't know if people will be okay with that.
See, I don't know enough about the media.
Me neither, but I just going to
force me to do it. Yeah. So it's exciting.
Well, and then I think they were working on a video game for it. So somebody, whoever the person is behind Last Ronin, is doing a really good job at pushing that as everybody should get on board on this. So we'll see what happens. It's an interesting development, if nothing else. Maybe these are the Ninja Turtles that McFarlane was going to make. We thought he was going to do this last cartoon one, but maybe it's actually going to be for these.
He's waiting. Yeah. So you think Playmates would even touch that at that point?
I don't know.
Doubtful.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because NECA's done Last Ronin. Oh, you know what?
have.
Playmates did do a Last Ronin figure
They did.
for collectors.
They
They did do it, so there's precedent for that.
There is.
Speaking of McFarlane, let's end with this. So I saw this Spawn and Batman statue on my feed, but I don't collect statues, so I just sort of scrolled past it. But I did not realize that it was a Kickstarter crowdfunding situation. So what this is McFarlane has made his own version of HasLab, and it's called the Collectors Club Drawing Board. And their first offering is a DC Direct Spawn Batman comic resin statue for $500. Now, this was supposed to be available for 25 days, but in less than 2 days, it has closed up shop.
Oh.
And it says that the project was fully funded and sold out in 1 day.
Okay.
But that's not how crowdfunders work,
See,
usually.
Todd McFarlane has like no idea how any of it works. Build-a-figures, now crowdfunding.
That's right, he does
He's
it.
just like, just it's
like,
not $20.
He hears
it's,
parts of it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I can do that.
Right.
So the weird part of this, other than it selling out, which is not how this is supposed to work, there was a time when the website was showing that the project was losing money.
Yeah.
It actually had negative dollars.
Man.
So I don't know if it was a problem with the website or this was actually it sold out.
I miss that old website so much with the forum
The
and
Spawn
everything.
website, the
Spawn
forum,
was so
the
great.
Spawn forum. That was the last vestige of the internet message board community.
That to me, that was my message board. Like you have your versions of the message board. That was my message board at the time. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where my stories come from.
I still remember the day it shut down. It wasn't
I remember going and being like, "Wait, where is it? Hello,
where'd it go?" And then they, you know what? Not only that, they tried to move over to another one, and it might still exist. I had it bookmarked at one point, but I think most people have migrated over to Facebook groups at this point, which is sad.
It is.
Any other big stories from the week?
No, we covered a lot.
We covered a lot.
Tune in next week when I have my reaction to this little set.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
You gonna open it?
I'll at least open the box.
Well, nobody expects you to open the individual figures.
No, I think when they go to clearance, they have to be in there. I don't know. When they go to clearance, then I'll open them. That's my trend with these. That's how I trend.
Like these are like new cars where they say they lose like 40% of the value. I feel like when you open a reaction figure or one of these retro figures, it's just like the carding is 90% of it.
I missed out on that the second Return of the Jedi wave that had Yak Face and Mon Mothma. No. I missed out on that. That's sold out, and now it goes for a damn premium on the aftermarket.
No. Was that only sold in a box set?
It was only sold in a box set, and I think it was only a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. So,
well, I remember. Was that the second Jedi one? Because I remember that Jedi Luke being like up on Entertainment Earth a bunch.
Yes, no, it was. But then I think they carried over a Jedi Luke to like the Book of Boba Fett set as well.
Okay. Oh, weird.
Yes.
All right. Well, very good.
But we'll talk about that next week.
That is a story for another time.
Yes.
Like how she got Luke's lightsaber. We're never going to know. We're never going to know.
I don't care.
I don't care. That's why we're not in any hurry to tell that story.
Done.
All right, everybody. Well, you know what we say? We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.